All right then, and we are back, just getting our next round all set up. I'm very excited to be back in the caster's seat because we've seen some incredible games so far, and I just want to commentate more.
Yes, I mean, so do I. I mean, that's why we're here, right? We've got a job to do.
That's it. Yeah, we already saw in the last round, we saw the Lugia with the Tool Jammer. Amazing tech for Duraludon, really cementing that, and I think Luke is currently 6-0 at this point, so, you know, all to play for there.
Yeah, it is, like we said, we would have not been surprised at all to see Lugia all the way at the top tables in spite of, like, the hate that there is around for it, because a lot of times it can just play through the hate, and what better example than what we saw just there.
Yeah, no, and we've seen some exciting games. We've got the amazing Rare Kroger, didn't quite show off, unfortunately, but I'm just excited seeing that. What is going to be next? What could it be?
Some more spice to come, yeah,
Could be some more spice. I'm always for the spice. Freya. So what would you like to get on stream next? What would you ever think? We've got Reggie's, we've had a Lugia, we've had a couple Palks. Lost Box.
Yeah, Lost Box.
What would you, if you had the choice to magically pick a deck to on stream now, what would you pick?
Yes, have we had any Mew today, or is it just one?
No, we haven't actually. I don't think we've seen a Mew.
Well, we haven't casted.
Yeah, we definitely haven't casted a Mew.
Yeah, so yeah, we were fun to see one of those. I'd like to see. I know there are a couple of Vikavolt flying around the top tables.
Yeah.
But I think I saw one being played at the very, very top table, like right. On undefeated or wins. So maybe one of those.
Maybe. We were just having a little look before we came live, people, and we saw Sanders still knocking about the top like 10% table. So I'm not sure what he's playing, but maybe that could be something. Who knows what Sanders playing? You cannot fathom or have a good guess with Sander because you just don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting because, before the tournament, he was tweeting about some ideas that, you could play, and I didn't know if he was necessarily saying, this is what I'm playing for Liverpool, or is this something I've been experimenting with?
Yeah.
And we haven't had the chance to actually see what kind of full variant of control he's playing yet, so we're very, very curious to see what he has up his sleeve.
Yeah, and he always does well, consistently does well, so I'm intrigued to see what we could get on next. Maybe we've actually seen a lot of spice so far, right? Like, it's been crazy.
Yeah, it has. I mean, between amazing Kyogre techs, seeing two Palkias on stream, both of which play up to Kuno in different amounts. There's been, and we've seen one Reggie's as well. There's been there's been quite a lot to bear witness to. Yeah,
I think maybe it is time to try and get a Vikavolt. Yeah, we haven't seen that yet. It just took the last regionals down. Could be interesting, especially if you said there was one doing super well. So maybe that could be interesting. We're just going to try and prepare for the next round. So
yeah, and interestingly enough, although I didn't watch the game for that long, I didn't see it play an Aerodactyl or anything like that. I just saw like Vikavolts, and that was kind of it. So
wow, now that would be interesting. Imagine the space you could save from playing that 1/1, the Forest Seal Stone. You can get rid of the fighting energy, use some of them. So I'm intrigued to see how Vikavolt could use those spare slots, because that's a scary deck. We're locking off items. If you can do some other disruption as well, oh my goodness.
Item lock is one of those things that, when it's done in a way where it's, backed up with like the power enough to actually eventually take knockouts, it is one of the things you fear most in a trading card game, because all the consistent decks, they play all their items to make their decks consistent. So if you cut all that off, all of a sudden you're left with a hand of Clunk and you can't really do anything.
Exactly that. Like, think about Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Evolution Incense, Switch, Escape Rope, all cards we've seen be used on the stream numerous times. If you can just say, you can't use them, hold on a sec, you can just be like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'll just attach fast then, shall I? Like,
Exactly, and if you can't find your energies, then you're going to be pretty doomed. I guess the one thing that helps with Lugia is that Lugia does play a lot of energy, so you don't even have enough to attach. But it's also weak to lightning, so Vikavolt's hitting you for weakness.
Yeah, and a lot of these Lugia lists I've been seeing have been cutting the Dunsparce as well. So, and not even considering, even if you do play Dunsparce, if you don't find it early, you can't quick ball for it.
No, exactly.
How are you going to get it into play? So,
just draw into it manually, so they're not really going to work out well.
Yeah, that would be well. That could be lucky. Depends, though, right? It depends if the luck is on your side. But it's really interesting to see how those Lugia decks have been adapted. We saw the two Tool Jammers last round from Luke Fisher. I really like that addition of the Tool Jammer, really stopping the big Parasol. A lot of decks are playing these days, just to turn off the big Parasol and make it so your Vettel can just come in and carry the Duraludon. Very scary.
It is funny because it's actually one of the very early techs that some lists are experimenting with, that Tool Jammer, and like eventually it fell out of favor. But now I guess coming back a little bit, sort of recognizing that big Parasol could be a bit of a problem. Just but put Tool Jammer on a Yveltal, suddenly you can just still take the knockout.
Yeah, no, it's a scary tech. I mean, as an Duraludon player, a little bit myself, if my opponent's Lugia puts a Tool Jammer on Yveltal, To be fair, I'd be scooping them up and hoping that they miss it to game 2, because there's not a great deal you can do about that. That's scary.
No, there really isn't. So I guess will we see a Vikavolt this round then? Because I didn't see too many apart from that one that I mentioned. But again, maybe someone finished their games early and I just missed them. And it always seems to be only like one that sneaks through. You notice into the top cut, but then it tends to go on to like win or come second. Yeah,
it seems to have a deep one if it converts, right? But maybe there's not that many players playing it. I don't know. But then maybe in the back of San Diego. And Stuttgart as well, even. Maybe players think, oh, maybe this is, an archetype you can play and do well. But the problem I find with Vikavolt is sometimes if you play against off-meta stuff, it can start to struggle a little bit, because the item isn't doing the greatest amount of damage. And if, you're playing against something like a random Arceus deck that just Trinity Novas, all of a sudden that's a huge problem. So
yeah, because that deck, although you still need items to set up, it isn't as reliant on them. So you can just, as long as you get a double turbo and another energy, you can just hit 200 constantly and then 180 constantly, and then what's the Vikavolt player doing? Yeah,
exactly. They have to try and find their Adaptal, but they play that one copy of Fighting Energy and can get a little bit rough, and that actually lost zones 3 cards off your deck when you attack as well, so that can get a little bit dicey. So yeah, maybe it would be nice to see a Vikavolt. You know what I saw actually when I was walking around the top tables? I was not expecting to see. Makes me happy though. A lot of Fusion Mew, actually.
Oh,
okay. I saw a lot of Meloettas going around. I'm thinking, these are my boys. I like all these.
I mean, it was, for a while, it was nowhere to be seen, right? But then it had a little bit of a resurgence because having being able to do a very big turn 1 attack against Lugia was very, very valuable, because if you knock out that Lugia turn 1, you're probably going to be in a good position to win. So I think that's kind of why the Fusion variants of Mew have come back a little bit. Yeah, we played a little game of this matchup before, didn't we? Yes.
And that Meloetta, similar to these amazing rare Pokemon, is that you have to deal with a Meloetta, because if you don't, your Mew player can go double fusion with an Elisa Spark. All of a sudden, that one prize is now doing 280 damage, 310 with a power tablet, and that's scary to deal with. So you have to deal with it, because the Mew player time to maybe develop a Mew, get involved. But one thing I was surprised about, though, I don't think, when I was walking around, I don't think I saw a single 4DTE Path Mew knocking about. I did not see a single one.
Yeah, but this was the variant that also kind of came out a little bit out the woodwork recently, right? The idea being, okay, we're going to play this game where I have abilities on my turn, but you don't have abilities on your turn, so I'm going to draw all the cards, but then you can't do your thing. But yeah, maybe fall in that favour a little bit compared to them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe players just the thing I don't really like about that deck is that your strategy is reliant on your opponent not being able to draw out a path, and if they do, you're then a bit fragile, right? You're then a Mew deck that hasn't got Meloetta to fall back on. It's just you're swinging with a kind of vulnerable free prize Pokemon, like your Vettel can just deal with it and stuff like this. But with always saying that, how many games can you win or have people won with just Marnie Path? That is the great equalizer. You can beat anything with that combo.
That is the turn 1. There's a chance that by playing this 2-card combo, I just win the game instantly.
Exactly that. You can go Marnie Path, Technoblast, doesn't even have to KO, but it's like if your opponent's just like, oh damn, I can't. Oh goodness gracious.
Yep.
Then you can just win. And that's the same for decks like Lost Box.
Yeah.
For example, you turn off the Greninja, maybe Flowers Collection doesn't get you the cards you need, and all of a sudden they're just twiddling their thumbs a little bit. It can get a little bit dicey.
Yeah, it can get very, very dicey. Are there any other surprises from what you've seen so far? Because we've both had a chance to walk around, like I mentioned. I've seen the Vikavolt. You've seen, a lack of Path Mew, but you've seen like a few Fusion Mews. But walking around, is there anything else you've seen that's kind of caught your eye?
Yeah, I saw a couple more Articunos actually, which I was a bit surprised about. I mean, obviously it's a respectable deck, but I feel as if it was a deck that sort of maybe had its time. Lugia now are playing Berkey, which makes the matchup a whole lot better. And Lugia decks by teching for Lost Box with stuff like Snorlax and Amazing Raikou actually works really well against the Palkia Articuno deck as well. So, but seeing them knocking about, doing well. Trying to think, did we see anything else? I don't think so.
No. So nothing else. Everything else that you saw was just kind of you think it's going to be the sort of stuff that you expect to see. Oh, I think we've just gotten word. We have we know who we're going to be featuring on the stream. Get ready for the King of Control to be on stream. Sander is going to be
is it?
Yeah, on our feature match right now.
Oh my goodness. Ask and you shall receive. And we are all going to work out at the same time as you what Sander is playing, because we haven't got a clue. I'm sure Sander's opponent probably doesn't have a clue either. And that is a terrifying place to be if you don't know what Sander's cooking up, because one wrong move, turn 1, turn 15, turn 20, can just lose you the game.
No,
my goodness.
I think we're going to have to apologize in advance, because as we're going to go over here to the game, we're going to have a look at the deck list and just try and figure out for ourselves what on earth is going on with the control strategy that Sander has decided to employ this time.
Okay, so bear with us, folks at home, while we get the deck lists up. We're going to try our best to do it as fast as possible, because believe me, I want to know just as much as you.
Yeah, so here we go. We bring up the list now, and we do see, okay.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah.
What am I looking at here? What am I looking at here?
Okay, there is all sorts going on in here, and wow. Wait. What? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So it looks like. So one of the main focuses still is that 4 celebrations Yveltal strategy. Of course, it does make sense. It discards so many special energies. Special energies are key to Lugia and a few other decks, so it makes sense that this will be a main 4 strategy that he wants to go for. But there's some other stuff in here as well.
Yeah, I saw one focal point was the double Regieleki, which we just saw Rahul playing, because you can get back a trainer. And it's actually something I've heard rumblings about as a control archetype, but not to actually think you would ever see being used realistically, but here we are seeing it here for sure.
Yeah, and of course we should pay mention to Sander's opponent as well, Adrian Fiel, actually a player who has had some success in the past, so not a completely new name by any means, and we'll be playing Lost Box today.
Interesting. Now, Lost Box, I feel as if with this format, there's 3 main decks you really want to try and have a game plan against. You got Mew, you got Lugia, and then Lost Box is the third. And it's really hard to deal with all 3 at the same time, because they all do really different things. Lugia and Mew are reliant on special energies and big multi-prize attackers. Lost Box is the complete opposite. It deals with 1 prize attackers, so could be quite hard for control to deal with this. But there is some spice. Sander has been prepared for the Lost Box with a sneaky 1/1 flying Pikachu, that max balloon, making itself immune to all damage from basic Pokemon. And there is 1 copy of Big Power Style as well that would stop any shenanigans. So we are going to be in for a crazy game here, folks.
I can only imagine that's what Sander's going to be focusing in on. So yeah, those 4 Yveltals that he plays as his main sort of control strategy, not going to be relevant here. Adrian is not playing any special energies actually, so that Yveltal is basically kind of like dead weight, I guess you could say, in this matchup.
Yeah.
But he'll be wanting to focus in on that Flying Pikachu VMAX and that Max Balloon to just like block off all of Adrian's basic attackers. And like you said, as long as you've got that big Parasol on, you can even stop yourself from being hurt by Sableye too.
Yeah, so this is crazy. Let me try and explain some other things in standard that we might not have covered already. We've got the 2 Gormandai Snorlax. End your turn, draw up to 7 cards. Tropical Beach, if anyone knows what that card does, is Tropical Beach on an ability. We do see the Thumping Snorlax as well. We've got the double Regieleki for that electromagnetic radar. So you can get a training card back from your hand. We also see the double Eldegoss for, some float up shenanigans. You can try to remove it in play and make sure you keep getting supporters. The 1/1 flying Pikachu. We've also got a sneaky little Starly with a Sky Circus ability, meaning it can attack for free if you use the Bird Keeper, and its attack lets you computer search 2 cards from your deck.
Actually, 2 ways to fight it off, because of course it is 2 colorless, and you do play 3 Twin Energy
for
double turbo
actually,
in the deck.
Yeah,
so
you are correct. Yeah.
So you don't actually need the Bird Keeper to fire that off. You actually have a lot of ways of making use of that.
This is going to be interesting. So I know if you think back to NAIC, when Sander got a top 4 with Mewtwo v Union, one way Azul was able to win that game was just Marnie. Every turn, Marnie. Stop the control from having its combo that it wants. But there is no Marnie in this Lost Box list. So if Sander is able to get a free reign with his hand, all he has to do is piece together that Flying Pikachu Big Parasol combo. And that would be that.
Yeah, so it's going to be very... I mean, the one way that Adrian can get around that is there's 1 boss orders of 3 escape ropes, right?
Yes.
So, but as long as Sander can get rid of those and then set up that max balloon, there's going to be like nothing really Adrian can do.
Yeah, we even got to see the free scoop up nets from Sander as well, so we can try and, as we saw the block face round, where you can just try and remove everything from play, lone Flying Pikachu, and say, right, let's get on to game 2 then, because this game's over. But here we go. This is exciting times. Sander on stream with a new deck, baby. Let's go.
Stream new deck, and there is the fist bump. We are off.
Leaves the Snorlax as well.
Great start from Sander. It looks like he's not going first. Looks like, yeah,
Adrian is going first.
Okay. So if you're Adrian here, okay, you start with Battle VIP Pass. That's pretty good going. But you basically have to find the right balance between being as aggressive as quickly as possible, but not burning through so many resources that Sander can just out-resource you to end the game.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because Lost Box, in theory, can do well against control. If you've got Sableye to throw damage around, you've got the one copy of Raikou, which control really, I mean, it does play a mana fee, but again, it's one more resource to find. Lost Box does have the options to get around, but one problem I think Lost Box does face playing into control is that it has to Lost Zone 10 cards. It has to get rid of them. There's no questions asked about it. And as a control player, if you can force your opponents to start throwing away cards voluntarily, it's like, well, now we only have to mill X less amount of cards. So
yeah, it's kind of, you're doing a lot of Sanders work for him, right, at that point.
Yeah.
And I think the only, I guess, saving grace for Adrian is that in this particular instance, Sander's idea is to, you're going to end up taking prizes with Max Blue, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this is a control deck that can actually just win by taking prizes.
Yeah, and that's something that Sander's decks have sort of evolved into. Maybe not necessarily for any fault of his own. Maybe that's something he wanted to do, or maybe that's just the way that the format has gone. But Mewtwo v Union, perfectly capable of taking prizes. The Umbreon Loop Fig kind of could take prizes with Float Up, but now, like we said, this deck is perfectly capable. And chatting to him after Stuttgart, he was saying that the Mewtwo v Union deck with Star Explosion was aimed to really take 6 prizes as fast as possible. So, yeah, that sort of double-edged threat, as it were.
Yeah, so we see that.
This is a tough decision.
This is a very ugly flower selecting, having to choose between another Battle VIP pass and a boss's orders.
His only boss.
Yeah, so that's really, really rough.
And I think you have to. Yeah, you can't afford to get rid of that resource.
No, you can't. So I guess it will have to be but VIP pass into the Lost Zone.
Yeah, as strange as it looks, the VIP Battle Pass is getting voluntarily thrown away turn 1.
Yep. So. Manual attach and then retreat into the Comfey. Another flower selecting now. Hopefully this one will be a little bit nicer for him. We see a Quick Ball and a Mirage Gate. Was that?
Yeah, it was a Mirage Gate.
Okay.
I think you probably get rid of Mirage Gate there. If you oh no, okay.
No, fair
enough. Adrian is currently 5-1, so he knows how to play that better than me, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, thinking he doesn't really need anything else right now. I mean, there's a Cramorant in hand, there's a Sableye there too. So yeah, he's just going to bench the Cramorant and pass.
Now, one thing we do have to watch out for here for Standard is that as strong as control decks are, and they can have checkmate scenarios, control does have to get to that point, and that is where control is at its weakest, when it's trying to set up. Think of Mewtwo v Union. It has to get all 4 on the discard pile before it can really get going. Yeah,
we do see that actually on turn 1, dropping the Greninja and then just having to concealed cards away a double turbo energy.
Yeah, which is something, and considering the prized one as well, I guess Standard doesn't know there hasn't done a deck search yet.
No.
It would see Yveltal could just be used as a damage sponge at this point, and that is a tanky Snorlax now.
Oof, yeah,
180 HP.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, definitely going to be tanking a few hits here, and actually does just go for the Gormandai. So maybe Sander was actually just benching the Yveltal to get it out of his hand to draw more cards.
Potentially as well. Yeah, I guess it only gives up 1 prize as well, and it can be netted if it's a bit of a liability. So.
Yes.
Over to Adrian, and I think that is a chorus, so we can actually get to see some cards. Look at top 5, take 3, Lost Zone 2.
Yep, very good find there, as we do see. Oh, there's a lot of energy in there, though.
Goodness gracious me.
That's not really what you want to see. You want those in deck, not in the Lost Zone.
Yeah, you don't want to put them away. That is, Sander would love to see as much energy as possible leave the deck, and then if Adrian decides to take away energy, he might not be able to progress his board state very much. So it looks like Mirage Gate and Fighting Energy have hit the Lost Zone.
Yeah, I think that's probably I mean, you have to Lost Zone at least one of the energies, I think, because you can't just take all 3, but I think that was probably the best choice he could have made. We do see another flower selecting, just getting rid of the Quick Ball and another energy to hand. There's 3 different colors of energy in the hand right now. Now, an important thing to note is that Adrian is playing, I think we might have already mentioned or maybe we haven't actually, the Rayquaza variant of Lost Box.
Yep.
And the only bench typing shenanigans that currently are in his deck is the Raikou. There's no Kyogre or anything like that to take a sweep at the end.
Yeah, which should be quite interesting. Control probably quite be scared of the Kyogre. I mean, Raikou is equally as scary, but I don't think we'll be utilizing Rayquaza much here because minimum of discarding 3 doesn't seem too great. One thing that is great, though, is his Cramorant. Doesn't need any energy. It can just keep going 110, 110, 110, turn after turn after turn. Very low maintenance. And you might just see Adrian try and utilize this for as long as possible because the more resources he uses, the more he plays into Sander's strategy.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to kind of do the most with as little as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
And the Cramorant does that very nicely. Even just doing the 110 here on the Yveltal, if he gets the 10 in the Lost Zone, then Lost Mind just put 1 on that later to KO it, as well as KOing something else.
I think Sander might be in a spot of bother here because he's playing a Lost Vacuum, having to bench multiple Yveltals for almost no use. So we see the Starly come down, and then the Gorman dies.
I guess his thinking is that he can just pick them up later, so benching a bunch of them isn't necessarily the end of the world, especially because in that instance it was picked up off Scoop Up Net and it kind of healed off all the damage that Adrian did.
No, yeah, you are correct. Just basically a free heal and a good damage buns against Lost Box. A deck that tends not to have the highest damage output if it's not utilising Rayquaza, and I don't think Adrian will want to use Rayquaza because 3 different colours, has to discard them. Not the most efficient way to go about the game, I believe.
No, and Lost owning a Comfey and the Manaphy off of the Chorus's experiment, not going to be needing either of those, I think it's safe to say, because you want to, again, not overcommit to the Comfeys and just end up using a bunch of them too early on. You want to get to 10 and then just kind of leave it at that, so they're not doing too much of Sander's work for him.
It looks like Sander actually has both copy the Flying Pikachu here. I think he's got the basic and the VMAX.
Yeah.
Probably want to bench them only when you have an energy to attach as well, though, so you can be 1 turn away from Max Balloon. But let's see. We'll see a Heavy Ball, Bird Keeper, Scoop Up Net, Manaphy. Ooh, this is interesting here, because Manaphy is actually kind of important just to prevent any Raikou shenanigans. Yeah,
or even with, well, I was going to say Radio Greninja, but no, there's no Water Energy played, so it is just a Raikou to worry about. But, I mean, it is something to worry about, right? 120 to 2 things is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, exactly. And it actually hits Flying Pikachu for weakness as well if any shenanigans were to happen.
Does, yeah,
it does a 240 into the active.
Good grief.
Brings it into Sableye range at that point, so... But if you really care for that Flying Pikachu, I think that's Sander's win con. I think that at least that's the most obvious win con, right? Flying Balloon as much as possible, and if possible, try and scoop up everything else and put a big Parasol down so you can just stop any shenanigans, right? But not the easiest of boards to get to. No,
but it does look like Sander actually thinking, okay, the cards I saw are too important. I am actually going to accept that I don't have any bench protection for the rest of this game, and is going to put that Lost Zone, put that Manaphy in the Lost Zone, and not going to have access to it anymore.
Yeah, really, and here we're seeing the strength of the Chorus supporter, playing it in a deck which has no obvious... what have we got there? Fanyanda against Sander. Let's have a look. It looks like I don't think he's going to be drawing much off this Gormandos by the looks of it, because... both Flying Pikachus are in the hand. Doesn't opt to... Okay, just a pass over, I believe. I don't think he can draw any of Gormandos, so...
No, his hand is too clogged up with things that he either can't play or doesn't want to play. We see like Bruno, Thornton, and the 1/1 Flying Pikachu line. Interestingly, he opted to attach a double turbo to the Yveltal. I guess he's expecting to have to retreat next turn, which so that makes sense. You can bring up the Yveltal then and just retreat it. Oh, but also maybe not.
Does have a scoop up there, and this is the problem when you have to cast Sander's games where it's a deck we have no clue about. Oh, we're going to see this the Sky Circus actually. Okay, that makes sense. Letting you Keen Eye, I should say.
Yes.
Lets you search a deck for 2 cards and put them in your hand. And with the ability Sky Circus, you can attack for free.
Yeah, that's very, 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 very solid. Of course, with that Bird Keeper triggering the Sky Circus. Although before that we do see another concealed cards drawing what looks to be 2. Was that 2 Quick Balls? Yeah, it was 2 Quick Balls off of the concealed cards there.
You know, Sander seems to be throwing away these DGs. I wonder, he needs stuff for the Max Balloon. Is Max Balloon even his go-to here? I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe he has another way to win this game that we're not currently aware about. And that's what I say. This is the problem you're casting a Sander game.
He knows a lot more about his deck than we do. I think it's safe to say. So whatever's going on, I'm sure we'll probably figure out eventually. By the time he's thinking 10 turns ahead, and then when we're 10 turns ahead, we see it thinking, oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there is a Thornton. Could see some shenanigans with that at some point, but looks like we just see the Keen Eye. Maybe this will help us. What is he going to computer search for here, or Keen Eye search here? What is the...
Oh, actually, you know what? Quick Ball away the Flying Pikachu V, Thornton Evolve Attach.
Oh, now we're cooking.
Yes.
Now we're cooking. Just completely bypass the vulnerable stage of it being a basic.
A basic 2 prizer at least.
A basic 2 prizer, yeah.
Because, I mean, if an Yveltal gets KO'd, it's whatever, right? It's 1 prize, you just commit to another one again. But if you have your Flying Pikachu V get KO'd, then all of a sudden that seems a lot more, gets Adrian a lot closer to winning.
I think you might be correct there.
Okay.
I think you are onto something.
And Adrian doesn't really play any kind of hand disruption, looking at it. There's a Raihan, Boss, and Chorus Experiment as the supporters, and that's it. So there's no actual way for Adrian to disrupt this play if that's what Sander wants to go for.
Yeah, and that's what I was alluding to. The fact if you just let Sander have free reign with his hand, it's a scary scenario. But then equally, Sander also, I don't think, plays any hand disruption. So that could let Adrian have free reign as well. So... going down to 2 prize cards taken, I should say, for Adrian. So let's see, what does Sander opt to do?
So no hand disruption in terms of anything that shuffles away the hand, but there is a Sydney which can pluck stuff out of the hand.
Sydney is special energy in stadiums, I believe, right? Get rid of any combination of 2. Look at your opponent's hand. Oh,
tools as well.
Tools, special energies, and stadiums.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, there aren't actually that many tools and stadiums and a 0 special energies, so not the most useful card against Adrian, unfortunately, to Sander.
All right, so let's see what Sander pieces together here then. So this is the turn after his clear rush. You have to imagine this could be...
Wait, is he going for it? I think he might be going for it this turn.
Yeah.
Is it going to be... Yeah, this is it.
You were right. You did it. You did it. You worked out a Sander play before it happened.
I'm almost proud of myself.
Yeah. Oh, I would be extremely proud. Doesn't happen often, but you are 100% correct. Things you love to see.
Okay, but then Sander must have the speed lightning in hand, right? The free speed lightnings are what he plays in terms of, like, coloured lightning energy, and yeah, he's got it. So there is Thornton. Gonna swap out the Yveltal for the Flying Pikachu V.
Oh, because it's already got the DTE attached, and it goes straight into Max Balloon. Oh my goodness! You told me the play. I still didn't know what it was until it's right here in front of me. Oh my goodness!
What does Sander? Or rather,
he's got a big parasol as well. Oh, almost knocked the table over here, guys. I'm that excited.
He had it all. He had it all.
Had it all. Now Adrian is twiddling his thumbs. What is? Okay, let's have a look. Are there any win cons here? Rope is not a win con anymore. Boss. Is in the hand. I think that's it. I think
Adrian does not have a single out to this in his entire deck. Not with the big parasol, the Flying Pikachu, nothing on the bench. Like, Adrian has nothing. There's no way he can get past this.
There's no shred style attacker. No shreds. Can't escape rope boss anymore.
There's no outs.
Wow. And this is the problem when you can't disrupt Control's hand, is that they can piece this combo together. They're only giving up 1 prize at a time. You're only doing 110. Yveltal actually tanks it. You give time for this. And that's it. Yeah, Parasol. Yeah, have a look.
Yeah, I think Adrian is going to read this now, and he's going to read this very specifically. And once he fully, I think, understands the text, he'll realize, I don't have any way to, like, I literally can't do anything.
Yeah, no, there's no tool removal from Adrian. There's no shred style attack. Sander's not going to bench anything now. Max Bloom's going to take a prize every turn. Yeah.
And I think he's kind of realizing it. I mean, he's looking for his hand now, but like, there's nothing you can do.
No. That is it. Sander needed, what, 3, 4 turns, 5 turns max, and boom.
Just piece it all together and then, wow.
Slam the door shut, as it were. Flying Pikachu, we know it's a powerful card. Current world champion deck. It was an almost mirror in the finals, while both decks featured Flying Pikachu. We know it's strong at just closing the door on these bases. Like we saw with Blockface even.
Yeah.
The same text. Except this time it's doing 160 and it's on a VMAX Pokemon. Interesting. I wonder why Sander went for a Flying Pikachu over Blockface, actually.
Probably just extra damage.
Extra damage,
extra damage and extra tankability. Like, the Flying Pikachu V can take a little bit of a hit. The Flying Pikachu VMAX can definitely take a hit. I think... I think it's basically just that combination of factors that made it more worthwhile. And also hitting Lugia for weakness is nice too.
Oh, good point. And one thing I like about the Flying Pikachu over Blockface is that we saw Blockface did give Rahul earlier an actual avenue. Because Blockface doesn't do enough damage, you can try and manipulate a way to get back.
Yeah,
Max Balloon is doing enough damage to where it's putting pressure on immediately. Like, I don't think there's anything in Adrian's deck that can actually survive, take a Max Balloon. So we know for a fact that Sander can win in 4 more turns minimum.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I don't like to be that kind of person who's super negative and saying, oh, the one player should like definitely scoop, right? Because you don't want to count anyone out. But we've had lists in front of us. There is nothing in Adrian's deck that can actually work against Sander right now. We're looking and we just can't see anything.
Yeah, and I think in this scenario, if you was to say, actually, there's nothing I can do against this Max Balloon, solo Max Balloon, you're going to have to just try and get to the game 2 and 3 and stop the combo from happening. Because like it says, Control is at its most vulnerable when it hasn't got combo. Sander took a few turns to get there, but now he's got there. This is the checkmate scenario. I mean, unless we're really mistaken, I don't think there's anything that Adrian can do here. So
no.
Maybe he's just hoping that Sander benches something, maybe. But chances are that's not going to happen.
I don't think the Control King is going to bench something that will make his control strategy not work somehow.
And it's just so interesting. We're thinking, why would you attach DTE to Yveltal? Why would you do that? And now it makes perfect sense.
All pieced together. And finding the last 2 pieces that he needed as well off of that Starly. Again, I think that Starly is good. It is so important. With Adrian having like no means of hand disruption, like Sander knows that he can go for that, and he piece together the one-turn combo to actually pull it off every single time.
Yeah, I think there's the concession by looks of it, I imagine, from Adrian. Sander going 1-0 up here with the Flown Flying Pikachu big Parasol combo, basically shutting the door on the Lost Box stack there.
Yeah, that is absolutely devastating. And honest to goodness, I think, because obviously we talk about, okay, what can the player do differently in Game 2 to try and sort of come back. I think the only way that Adrian really wins this is by putting on enough pressure early to stop Sander from hitting that combo, because if Sander's able to put together all the pieces, we saw there is literally nothing that Adrian can do if that combo gets reached.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, what more pressure can you realistically do? I mean, you can start swinging with Rayquaza to take prizes, but so costly to do. You're going to have to get to 7 cards in your lost zone to activate Mirage Gate. Cramorant seems like the perfect card on paper, right?
Yeah.
But it only does 110. Yveltal tanks a hit, Snorlax tanks hits, and it gives Sander time. And without hand disruption, that combo will come out eventually, and slamming the door tight there. Oh,
yeah, because we always talk about how Cramorant is so great because you can attack early with it and it's so efficient, but especially with Starly and the rate at which Sander can piece together his combo pieces and know that his hand is going to stay as it is because there's no hand disruption, it's not enough to Cramorant. At least it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I think if you just give free reign for a deck like that, Sander knowing my hand is going to stay exactly what it is, what I want it to be, yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, honestly, and I think Adrian's definitely got his back up against the wall here, but I don't think it's all over.
No, not at all.
If the Flying Pikachu doesn't come out, Sableye and Cramorant are really good. Even Raikou, actually, are all really good cards to disrupt control. If you get Raikou out, you can go 120, 120, 120, 20 again. You're taking 2 prize cards on multiple Yvetals. You can start KOing other stuff. And Cramorant, early game pressure, it's not bad. It's just... yeah, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
With no hand disruption, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be very, very, very tough, but not impossible. So we're going to get, Adrian obviously lost game 1, recognized that there's nothing that he could have done there. Now going to go into game 2 and just try to put on that extra pressure that he needs, and maybe this time he can squeak it out.
All right, let's have a look at these prize cards then. So Big Parasol's prized actually for Sander.
Okay,
I believe he only plays 1. He does.
Yes.
Now he does play a copy of Peonia,
which is not in the prizes, so you
which
can't
is not in the
it.
prizes.
Yeah.
So there we go. So we're just talking about getting into the combo. It helps if the combo is prized from Adrian's point of view, at least. So
yes,
there is a win con here for Adrian. Sander will quickly identify probably that the Big Parasol is prized and then try and go find it.
Having said that, though, Sander has also opened with Starly and has double turbo in hand, so get straight away from turn 1. He can just search for any 2 cards from the deck.
Yeah, it's a good start for him. Looking over at Adrian's prizes, we see 1 copy of Sableye, does play 2. We see the Greninja, actually, which could be interesting. I have to try and find a heavy ball to go get it. And then a Raihan and a Colress.
Yes.
So not the good, medium prizes, I think, for Adrian.
Yeah, Sander also prized one of his 2 Gormandize Snorlaxes, so a heavy ball could be like another out to find that if you can't find it some other way. Is that a... okay, I thought that was Luminion in hand for a second. I was very confused, but no, it's Flying Pikachu.
Yeah, Luminion would be very troubling. How has that got in there? But yeah, over to Adrian. Looks like he's trying to mirror the same setup as last term. One interesting thing we could see is that Zigzagoon. It's quite interesting against Yvetals, right? Because Sander used the Yvetals to tank, but you could leave it on 110, Ziggy, KO it mid-turn, then you get another spit innocently on something else. And that's in hand. That's something Adrian could try and set up rather easily. So that's a little wrinkle for us to watch for.
Yeah, very much so. So 1 flash selecting gone, getting the switch cart into the lost zone, and then another one after a scoop up net, putting a escape rope into the lost zone. Now air balloon, retreat, 1 more flower selecting. Pretty decent start on the flower selecting. So free turn 1 is pretty good as things go. I'm going to do one more. What's he find here?
Ooh, what was? Was that Sable?
No, it was a Comfey and something else. Okay.
I didn't quite get to see it. There we go. Pass it over to Sander. So we know Sander at least has the keen eye to work with. Got the Yveltal. There's the Thumping Snorlax. So no Gormandize, but does have the Starly, which you could argue is as good as the Gormandize. You're getting to search 2 energy. 2 cards, I should say. Any 2 you want, very strong. Yeah,
very, very strong. And has maybe you can say arguably even like a better lead, right? Yeah. The big only problem is there's nothing to follow it up with, so there might be a consideration for Sander to, bench the Yveltal or just have something to promote afterwards. Although there is the Snorlax there, so I guess you just promote that and sort of be feeling okay. Sadly, the Cape of Toughness will not prevent a KO on the Starly from a Cramorant. It has 50 HP, so the Cape of Toughness will only put it up to 100.
Oh, poor Starly, 50 HP. There's not a lot of Pokemon in this game that have 50 HP, but unfortunately, fellow, you are one of them. So
yes.
Cape of Toughness will not be saving you here. And this is interesting.
So maybe Sander here is thinking,
Wow.
I'm okay benching this now because I don't think Adrian has enough access to Gust early on to make this a problem. I think that's kind of where we're at with that one.
And it's also, and this is the mind games, right? If you're currently 1-0 down to control, you're probably thinking, all right, I need to control my resources. I need to make sure I don't go too crazy. And if that's the line you go down, Sander's thinking, well, if you took your foot off the gas turn 1, you probably can't carry this Flying Pikachu turn 2, so I can bench it anyway.
Yes.
The mind games are ridiculous.
Sander is, like, as a player, like, every time you watch him on stream, it's an absolute joy to watch, right? Just like see his thought process in action. There's some kind of discussion going on with the judge, it looks like.
Not 100% sure. Look like, I mean, he hasn't even played a card, right? So I can't see how anything could have gone wrong. I mean, he can definitely use the keen eye attack. Looks like
it pointed to the headset. Yeah, maybe we can hear something. Anyway, so just whilst I sort that, we're going to sort of take things back over here, just whilst I guess that they get that judge call sorted out. So yeah, benching of the Flying Pikachu straight away. Very, very interesting. Yeah, kind of call there, I guess.
Yeah, I really like it, you know, because it's basically saying, have you got the resources to go and boss it and kill it, KO it turn 2? Probably not, right?
No,
that would involve boss's orders and then either Amazing Rare Raikou or Amazing Rare Rayquaza, both of which require 7 in the loss zone. And with a combination of boss, can you get to 7 without Colress? Probably not. So yeah, I quite like it, actually.
Yeah, I quite like it as well. I mean, something fun you could also go for with the Flying Pikachu is, of course, fly. Like on the Flying Pikachu V, maybe you flip a coin and maybe you protect yourself for a turn, you know?
Yeah, we saw that in the world's top 4, I believe. Maybe in the final, actually.
I think we saw it on multiple occasions, actually. Yeah,
that
a shockingly relevant attack.
Really? Not just me with the funds now. I got Fair involved as well. Things you love to see.
Back in my day, I can't believe I'm saying that, but there was I had a bit of reputation for like punning it as well on some of the streams in the past. I know Joe had grown at me on more than one occasion, so I had it in me all along. It's just like you brought it out at me.
I brought it back.
Yes,
I've reeled that back in. So yeah, putting that Flying Pikachu down, I love it. And you know what? If nothing else, it's a free retreater.
It is. That's true. That's one of the things that's so crazy about that line. Both the V and the VMAX, they both have free retreat. They give you so much flexibility to just use it as a pivot, which is really great.
Yeah, no, free retreat, you bench it, get it down. If you combine it with an energy attachment as well, that's so scary. And I wonder if Sander has realized about the big parasol yet being prized. That could, make you want to maybe a little bit more conservative, maybe. But
either that, or I mean, you could also one of the 2 cards you search off of the Starly, you could just be Peonia as well.
Oh, true, because you get the depth at the same time.
Yeah,
you could just try and take the Peonia to get it out of But even then, getting the Flying Pikachu out and a max ballooning early without Big Parasol, all that does is Big Parasol just stops the Sableye.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
like,
so Sableye needs 3 lost full mines to get the chaos. You can even go for like 1 or 2 max balloons before you find the Big Parasol, and you can just...
Yeah, you have time, right?
Yeah.
I think even just like going... And especially because, I mean, if you're max ballooning, it's more prizes you're taking to find the Big Parasol in the first place. So yeah, absolutely, you could just like go for that early. And... Well, obviously, he didn't get to see the deck until he did like the search with the Starly. But now he'll be seeing that. Maybe he'll be, that'll be more front of mind, and he'll be thinking, okay, actually, definitely the right decision in going for an early max balloon, just try and take some prizes to get the Big Parasol out in case they don't hit it with Peonia.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You can Peonia, C3. If you don't get it there, try and take 2, and then you've only got 1 prize card you haven't seen in that scenario. And law of averages, hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully you take the Big Parasol, right?
Yeah. So I have a question to ask you. Have you ever played any kind of control deck in the past?
I have.
You have?
I played quite a few, actually. So I got top 64 at Leipzig Regionals back in the day. That was with Wishy-Washy Walls. You could argue that's more of a stall deck.
That deck. Gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Hooper, Regigigas, Acerola, all that. Oh, Wobbuffet Break was in there, actually, as well. Wobbuffet Break. Wobbuffet to turn off non-circuit Pokemon's ability. So yeah, I played that. I have played Poipole Stall more recently with the Malamar. So it had was it Knockout Revive, I think it was called.
Oh, where you discard energy attached to it?
If it gets KO'd next turn, it doesn't give up a prize.
That was
so
it,
you like Malamar, Psychic Recharge, Loop. Keep doing that over and over. I played Regigigas a little bit as well. I think that might be all of them, actually. What about yourself?
So Not quite in the same way, but one deck that I was very faithful to for a while is Seismitoad EX.
Okay.
So that was a controller that everyone played. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that wasn't even like limited to a few players. It was one of the best decks, and even not just like purely a control deck, because obviously it's more like a lock deck in that kind of sense. You did control what your opponent was doing, but it wasn't so much by denying them of resources constantly. Even though you did have stuff like Crushing Hammer, you were more just sort of stopping them from playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue when stuff like when Aqua Box came out, that was such a tempo there. Even when you had Laser Bank still around, you were throwing some serious damage around. Like,
that was when I was playing it most as well.
Yeah,
I remember I made day 2 at the European Challenge Cup, and that was a thing with
ECC,
Seismitoad Garb.
Back in the day, Toad Garb, that was a scary deck.
Yes, it was.
They've been very careful about printing ability locks since Garbodor because that would just shut you down. No items and no abilities. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yes, and actually thinking about it, so we know that we also have the Scarlet Violet set coming up. We've soon that will come into effect, and there will be, of course, a change with tools becoming their own category of
yes,
things.
Fantastic. So I wonder if they've got some crazy tool cards planned in the future, because they're making it so you can't search them out, right?
Yeah.
Like an Irida can't no longer find a tool.
Yeah. Although a bit relevant to like the current tournament, take a look. So what's actually on the line for the players here today? We can see here. There's quite a lot actually.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you win, one lucky person, one fortunate person will win Liverpool Regionals. Not only did they get 200 championship points, very good, over half your invite here in Europe at least, but you also get $5,000. Not bad, not bad. And then just to tip it all off, 108 booster packs as well.
I could do what's that, 4 booster boxes?
I believe so.
Yeah.
4 booster boxes, yeah.
No, 3.
Three,
actually, 3
sorry,
yes,
yeah.
it is 3.
You are correct, because then 16th is 2.
Yes.
But it doesn't just stop there, though. You don't have to be winning or getting tippy top. You can, the cash goes all the way down to top 32, I believe.
As long as there's more than 201 players,
There you go. So help paying for your trip. Looks like we are back involved. Don't quote on this. We haven't been told, but I think there was something wrong with the headsets. Maybe they could hear, I don't know, background noise or something. So
all been fixed now.
All been fixed now, so we are back in. So just in case you can't remember, we are looking at Sander's Keen Eye attack, where he gets to take 2 cards from his deck, any 2 cards. So that is what we're seeing here. And they have just been popped down there. We do not know what they are.
No.
He's
changed his mind?
He's changed his mind. As long as you haven't shuffled your deck, you are allowed to do that.
Yeah. Oh, maybe can we get Sander? Can we get a peek, pretty please? Maybe. No. I think one was definitely the Flying Pikachu VMAX.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what the other one was.
Pioneer was on the front. Pioneer was on the front.
That is true. And again, it does make sense, right? If you want to try and maybe dig out that big Parasol early, maybe you go for that. Or maybe if you want to guarantee the attachment with the Lightning, maybe you go for the Speed Lightning as well.
Maybe.
Because I do believe there is a DTE in hand, so you just need to search for that. But yeah, it was definitely a Flying Pikachu VMAX and something.
I believe I did see Pioneer at the front, but it might have been changed. Sander was taking a decent amount of time there to decide. And to be fair, this is when control, I've said this multiple times, but you need to believe me now. Control is these first few turns of control can make or break, honestly, because if you just do one little thing wrong, you can never get your combo. Adrian can take too many prizes, Sableye dotting damage around everywhere, and it can get out of hand. So this decision can make or break the game, make no mistake about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go, 2 cards from the deck, and that's hard to see again. This is okay. The headsets just weren't working at all.
Oh, the headsets just stopped working apparently. So, okay, so that's what was going on. The headset just stopped working. The players' headsets that plays them, white noise or music, so they can't hear background or anyone from the stage, anything like this. Or they can hear each other and the table judge. So something got on there, but I think the headset just got swapped out, and then they were off to the races. They couldn't hear anything else or us.
No. So, Chorus experiment now from Adrian's side. Looks like it's going to be, is that a Raihan and a Mirage Gate going to the Lost Zone? Yep. So I think those 2 are fine. You play multiple copies of them, so I think one of each going to the Lost Zone is not a problem. We do see a Flower Selecting as well. Only 2 Lost Zone cards away, or now 1 Lost Zone card away from being able to go for that Mirage Gate. Oh, we do see, a second Raihan.
So you have to keep the escape rep, I think, correct?
Yeah, I think it's too important not to, because, maybe Sander does have the scoop nets to pick everything up, but in case he doesn't, you need to have that rope in hand to be able to play around the Flying Pikachu VMAX.
And this is why I love the Flying Pikachu come down. Now, if you're Adrian, you can't afford to just end the turn with a real quick spit innocently, because you might have to try and escape rope boss Rayquaza to deal with this VMAX, which means you're going to have to start turboing through. So that is that is what Adrian has to do. It has to actually try and progress the board state a little bit. It has to try and threaten this Rayquaza, which means you have to turn for the deck, use resources, making Sander's win condition even easier for him.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We see the Raikou coming into play. So that won't quite be able to get a double knockout because the weakness doesn't apply on the bench. So you'd have to do 120 as the bench damage to either the Snorlax or the Pikachu, which won't be enough to KO either. But if you had to mind getting into the active, maybe, like you mentioned before, the Flying Pikachu V and VMAX, they're both weak to lightning.
They are indeed. So you could do an amazing shot here, put it on 120. Max Balloon can't come out next to him because there is no Royhan or anything like this. So setting up the Flying Pikachu there really interestingly. Oh, a little wrinkle. Love to see it.
Yeah, you do. And there is, actually playing the escape route now. So yeah, it's got to be the Snorlax you promote, right? There's no way you promote the Pikachu here. No, exactly. So bringing up the Snorlax, Comfey coming up, and one more flower selecting. This will now be enough to make it so that the Mirage Gate is online.
I think he's just saying, did he use that one? I think I was just trying to work out.
No,
yeah, just trying to work out which ones he has used.
Yeah, used one they just switched out, but yeah, I think this is absolutely correct here. The fourth Comfey goes to the Lost Zone, so that's now all the Comfeys in play and accounted for. And now there is 7 in the Lost Zone, so Mirage Gate can be played. So we see the Raikou getting benched, and then is the Mirage Gate already in hand? Sure, there it is.
Yeah, it must be.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to be able to power up this amazing rare Raikou with the lightning and the metal, and then just needs a grass, I believe, on top of that. Yeah, just a grass, and we'll be able to do the amazing shot, I believe it's called.
Yeah, amazing shot. 120 to your opponent's active, and then 120 snipers. Well, that is a monstrous number, 120. Like.
Yeah, it is. Like, the only way this could be better is if obviously Adrian was able to, do it in such a way that he could knock out the Flying Pikachu V. But even so, he's able to do 120 to it on the bench, and that's actually a bit of a problem for Sander, because Sander can't deal with this Raikou. So
he goes after the Starly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I thought damage into the Pikachu.
Okay, no, I do get it. Maybe Adrian's thinking here, I know that I can't KO the Pikachu because Sander can just evolve it. So at least getting rid of the Starly, it makes it so that Sander can't just search for the next 2 cards to make the combo all put together.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That's a good point, yeah, because as soon as the Max Balloon does come out. But I was thinking maybe if you put 120 on it now, you can try and boss it next turn, because you can't Max Balloon this turn.
And then Sander just played Peony and got the Parasol.
He took the big Parasol.
He's got it, so... Okay.
Big Parasol wouldn't stop bench damage, does it? It's
no, it doesn't.
As long as it's worth it, all that. No, it has to be attached onto the active, so no, it wouldn't work, yeah.
Right, so this is the big turn. Sander's just going to decide what he wants to put back, but I think he's 1 turn away from getting it here. Because I think the main thing he's to worry about is Adrian bringing up the Flying Pikachu V and carrying it. But as long as Sander evolves into the Flying Pikachu V Max,
it's going to be out of range.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way the Raikou gets the KO. So then you put the Parasol on, you start max ballooning, and Adrian has to extend the hand again.
I mean, I guess Adrian could try and amazing burst a Rayquaza out of and try and get the KO, but again, you have to do that in combination with the boss, which means you wouldn't be able to dig too much. I don't think Adrian hand supports such a play right now.
No, I don't think it does either.
Gets Doji Vettel straight in prices.
Yeah, and there's a double turbo in hand, so all the pieces are there. It's just a matter of making sure that he plays this in the right way and you go for the evolution now. You want to give yourself the extra HP. There's no reason not to go for it. Do you go with the Parasol now?
I mean, Sander isn't to know that Adrian doesn't play any tool move, but I guess it just makes it. I don't mind it. I guess.
No, I don't.
I can't think of much that would punish that. So Lost Box tends not to play any shenanigans. So this is Adrian's turn here. There is a boss.
Oh, he drew for turn.
He drew the boss for turn. But I don't think the hand supports a Rayquaza, though.
No, and okay, he plays Course Experiment.
So I guess Escape Rope is as good as a boss, actually.
That is true.
Escape Rope's live. There's not an Escape Rope there, though.
No. Okay.
Well, Battle VIP Pass always goes.
So, what it comes down to then, can Adrian get 4 energy onto an amazing rare Rayquaza? That's what he needs.
And rope.
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 I think the rope might already be in his hand.
I think he might do. But that is... I can't. He's very fast there with that hand, Adrian.
Yes.
I don't think I saw an Escape Rope there.
No,
there's no rope. That hand looks like a lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy.
And a lot of different colours, too.
It's energy that he wants in the deck from Mirage Gate.
It does have the Rayquaza, though. Oof. But I don't think there's even a Mirage Gate in that hand.
So no, yeah, he needs 2 as well.
No, he needs 2. No, that hand doesn't support it.
No.
That hand doesn't support it. And it's interesting because if Adrian even goes for this attack here, it helps Sanders win con, opting not to go for the attack, making it harder. Yeah. So now, wait, does Sanders have a bird keeper in hand?
I don't see it.
I think last card.
There's a quick ball.
Wait, did he have another DTU?
Yeah, he has 2.
Okay, I was going to say, Sander, you might need that one, buddy.
Yep.
What's going on here? Eldergoss?
I think you have to. I think you need to get some kind of supporter going.
Oh, I could have. I swore I saw a bird keeper in Sanders. Maybe I'm wrong. So, let's see what he goes for. Quick ball, going for a Greninja. Okay.
Yeah, I think Sanders has a double turbo, but no way to get this Snorlax active. Yeah, so actually he's so close yet so far.
I think not attacking there from Adrian was really really clever there, not making it easy for Sanders. You can probably assume that the way he's played the game, he probably does have access to the DTE. So let's not make it easy for him. Let's give myself a note. He has got the boss in hand, right? So he can boss up that Pikachu when he needs to. Just slowly build that Rayquaza up and hopefully eject that Pikachu from play.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he just needs to find the Mirage Gate, right? Because now he can attach manually in Mirage Gate once and he's good to go. So Sander, I'm sure, has this in mind. And probably getting the Greninja here, knowing that he needs to draw a scoop up, double scoop up net basically to be able to actually make the most of this.
Oh, he did have the bird keeper.
Oh, he did have the bird keeper, okay.
So
he's just fitting the deck of one card.
So does this draw into a scoop up net?
1, 2, 3. No!
But, okay.
But I think this is still fine because you just attach a max balloon.
Yeah, I still think you max balloon, right? It forces the escape rope boss.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think you probably go for it, right? I mean, I think you always go for it now.
Yeah.
You're going to try and Greninja for it? Oh, my goodness. No, surely not.
No. Oh.
Okay.
Well, I think, again, he's thinking, I just want to be able to draw more cards right now because, I'm vulnerable to escape rope boss anyway, so benching a second one is not really going to make all the difference in the world. And we see there
Twin Crushing Hammer.
Oh, Crushing Hammer. This is huge, actually.
This is a big flip, everyone.
Okay, needs to be a heads here to get rid of this energy. It's a heads!
Oh. Wow. Let me remind you here, folks, that Crushing Hammer is a one-off. And it just came up on the turn he needed it. And he hit heads. This is ridiculous.
So this is huge because now Adrian, again, needs to find 2 Mirage Gates, not 1 to pull this off.
That was a huge flip there. How many fighting energy does he... He's discarded the fighting and he's prized the other one. I think Rayquaza needs a fighting to attack.
It does. Oh! Okay, so now he needs to find an ordinary rod as well.
Ordinary rod. Does he play Training Court? Or Training Court?
Or Training Court or Energy Recycler.
Or Energy Recycler. So, and this is the thing. Even though Sander hasn't got optimal position, what he's doing now is just making Adrian answer a lot more questions.
Exactly.
Can you find this? Can you find this? Can you find this with a boss so you can't play Colrus? Crazy plays.
The more outs you make your opponent find, the more likely you are to actually pull off your strategy. And that's exactly, like you said, how Sander has played it. Now, he did find one of them, it looks like. I think there was a Training Court off of that... off that flower selecting, or at least, there's a Colrus experiment.
There's a Colrus, very optimal card. They're trying to piece together this combo. That does mean there won't be a boss's orders this turn, though, but
maybe again set things up for next turn, perhaps.
Yeah, I believe it does. What was that? Getting rid of Kramerman and VIP, but we did see a Mirage Gate in there, though.
Yes, so very, very important to find that. But Adrian does still need to find some way to get energies back in the deck because I think, like we said earlier, all the energies are currently in his hand.
And there we go. That is a control player's dream. Every time your opponent just passes over without attacking, here we see the concealed card. All Sander wants to do now is just find scoop up nets. That's all we want to find.
And Yellhorn, not very useful in this
boss!
Matchup. Oh, right, yes!
Is that going to be boss on the Rayquaza?
What's the Rayquaza weak to? Is it lightning?
Yeah, it is weak to lightning, yeah. But I think it's only got 120 or 130 HP
anyway.
Oh,
okay, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, if you boss Rayquaza, KO it. And I think that's probably what Sander's looking at, right? Thinking, okay, if I kill this Rayquaza, does that actually just take off any reasonable threats that Adrian might be able to pull off?
And again, I think Adrian does have access to one more, but again, you're just asking questions. Can you now find an ordinary rod? Can you then attach? Can you then double Mirage Gate? Can you do it with a boss? It's tough.
I guess there is also, good reasons to just KO the Comfey. There's already 2 in the loss zone. You KO the Comfey, then that's less dig that Adrian has.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's reasons to do all sorts there. I think it's going to be quite important. I think it's probably rare Sander gets the opportunity to boss his orders in the aggressive driver's seat here with the control deck.
Absolutely. And he's looking at Adrian's discard push to make sure that that whatever decision that he makes is the optimal one.
Yeah.
And he's going to be considering this very, very carefully. And actually
just
decide
not to play it.
Yeah, just go for the KO of the company. And I think this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think so. Can preserve it, because chances are the Rayquaza is just going to have an energy attached, and then Mirage Gate to it, and then that will be the turn to boss it, just to really turn the screw.
Yeah, and now Adrian is so much more limited in the amount of dig that he can do with like so many Comfeys already gone. Like, yeah, you got one flash selecting, and then that's it.
And then Galar Mine as well, so that Comfey can't even retreat for free.
No.
Oh, now that right there is a tough decision. Scoop Up Net and Mirage Gate, both of which are needed. I imagine you probably take Mirage Gate here, right? Because
yeah, I think so.
The Comfey, you're not going to pull combo off this turn, so you probably just want to have the Mirage Gate.
Yes, and looks like Adrian agrees, putting the Scoop Up Net in the lost zone. It's a very, very big hand that Adrian has.
It is, yeah.
Is that? Is that the rod in hand already? Actually, I think I saw.
I think there might be a rod in hand.
Yeah. Well, okay, we kind of see him positioning the energy, right? It was like, positioning.
Wait a minute.
More.
Wait a minute. Is there like an escape rope?
Okay, there's definitely an ordinary rod. We can see that.
Oh, there is an escape rope.
Oh.
There was. It was one of the back cards in the hand.
Okay.
That one there. That one there next to the Scoop Up Net. I think he might have it then. He might have Rod, Boss, double Mirage Gate.
I guess it's just a matter of then, is there enough energy in the deck to support this?
Yeah. I mean, that's why he was... When Rod gets back 2, remember, we would need 4 different colours here for the KO.
Yeah.
We need 4 different individually coloured energy. Can't go 2 metal, can't go 2 electric.
Vital to get back the fighting as well, because as we mentioned, there's one in the prizes.
Yep. So there's one Mirage Gate. It's probably going to be for top 2, I imagine. Is there 4 different... Wait, I think there's 3, right? One, there's a fighting, a metal, a lightning.
But there's no grass.
There was no grass?
No, there's no grass, unless it's in hand. If there's a grass in hand, then he's okay. But
yeah, there is.
Okay.
I saw a big flash of green.
Okay. Yeah, that's very important. Otherwise, you just can't provide the attack cost. So that's a very, very important find. So, yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think with this, I think
he's got it. I think he's got it.
So just rope, boss, and then that kills the Pikachu. Wow.
Wow.
So maybe Sander should have gone for the boss on the Rayquaza after all, because then at least Adrian would have needed to rod the Rayquaza back and dig it out.
And find it again. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Debating whether to attach the Psychic.
Well, it still needs to actually move that Comfey. I don't know if he's got a Scoop on it in hand, but that does need to move. And I believe with a Psychic Energy, it can retreat under Galar Mine.
Yes, because it'll have a retreat cost of 3, and then Red Balloon reduces by 2. So yeah, that is actually completely correct. And
I think the grass is in hand. I'm sure I've seen it towards the back. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah. Wait, you don't actually need to move because your rope already switches zero anyway.
No, you are correct.
But that's
and here comes the boss, Adrian, from the jaws of defeat, stealing it away.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Wow, Adrian has done it. He's found the out.
He's done it. Fair play. Had exactly that combo to pull off, and he did it.
Yeah, and this is the problem when, you kind of do your win condition suboptimally, and Sander was kind of forced into it in a way, but because of, being forced to do it suboptimally, it left that gap open for Adrian to actually be able to, mount some kind of comeback. And now, what does Sander do here?
Well, I don't think Adrian had that many cards left in deck. That discard pile is very big, 13 cards in the lost zone currently.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe Sander just tries to go for a deck out strategy. We've got Galar Mine already. That Rayquaza is going to struggle to do anything while it's in the active. Maybe Sander tries to go for a deck out strategy here.
Quite possibly, yeah. I'm actually trying to look to see, is there any way to get Pokemon back in Sander's list? I don't think I see any. Because I was thinking maybe you could go for, Thornton for Flying Pikachu V and then just evolve again and do it that way. But no, there's actually no Pokemon recovery in Sander's list.
No, and there's not really many tanky Pokemon you want to try and still absorb the damage. If you want to go down a tanky sort of route, you want to try and have a Pokemon that can just absorb damage. I still think Sander can win this. Adrian has not got a lot of resources left. As long as Sander can just weather the storm here for 2 more prize cards, he might be able to still get this, I think.
Yeah, I suppose it's going to come down to whether he can, like you said, weather the storm. And, yeah, definitely, discarding Speed Lightning, kind of abandoning the Flying Pikachu plan, knowing that he can't really attack with it anymore. As we do see the Gormandai Snorlax in the hand there for Sander. A bunch of capture energies. Yellhorn as well. That could be
that would be good
important.
For that sort of strategy. I'm not 100% sure how many switching options we've seen from Adrian be used here, but you have to imagine with a discard pile that big and a lost zone currently at 13, there can't be that many options left. And
there's definitely been a few. Scoop Up Net very good there, picking up the damage Snorlax.
Yeah. And it looks like we got a Cape of Toughness to try and beef up these Pokemon, try and make them even harder. And we just see a pass hand too big to utilize Gorman dies. So we do see an energy recycler in the hand. Actually, that's going to be big for Adrian to try and weather the storm here and beef the deck out more. I believe he probably has got 5 different energies in the discard pile. I mean, 4 hit the discard pile just off the Rayquaza alone. So that can be used for max value.
Yes, it can. Although we have to remember that there's only 1 more Mirage Gate left to Adrian. Like, he used 2 that turn, and there was also a 3rd one in the Lost Zone. So that makes things a little bit more tricky for sure.
Yeah, I believe Adrian, maybe this could be a time we can just start announcing 110 every turn, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that could, I'm fairly certain that probably applies enough pressure on its own. Maybe you can try and utilize an Eldegoss loop to try and prevent that maybe, but Eldegoss loop gets KO'd by that Rayquaza very easily.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess what you do here is that you have the Yell Horn in hand, right? Maybe you just play that and sort of hope that Adrian's forced into an awkward coin flip 50-50.
Yeah. That is interesting. Here we see the other Snorlax.
Yeah, getting benched again.
Snore. And capture energy maybe getting attached. Do we see the Eldegoss get moved to the front of the hand? Obviously really good for getting the supporter back out of discard pile and then float up, letting you return it to hand with all cards attached to it as well. But we have seen that be a focal point of Sanders decks before, but I'm not sure if it's a focal point in this one, but it's still useful.
Yeah, and a lot of other Sanders, other walls in this deck don't really do much for him. I see Miltank obviously good against Vs and GXs. No Vs on Adrian's side of the field right now. There's Flying Pikachu is gone and no longer an option. There's not really that many great things to work with. Like you're kind of banking on that Flying Pikachu strategy to really do your best against Lost Box, but that's not really possible to go for right now. So you kind of have to just hope to out-resource your opponent and that they'll deck out before you.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% correct. And Sander was just playing the odds, hoping that Adrian couldn't do that massive play. Here we do see the Eldegoss though. I wonder what this goes for. Support back from the discard. I don't think Sander's played a support. What was that?
The Bird Keeper.
Bird Keeper, okay. You know, trying to just spread the damage out, get this Snorlax out the way, try and tank some more hits, I believe.
Yeah, maybe thinking about the Yell Horn as well.
Yeah, I think Yell Horn is really good here. It stops Adrian from just announcing Spit innocently to try and win this game.
Yeah. And then you can just Bird Keeper into the Eldegoss and maybe just go for, okay, we can't do it this turn, but maybe like next turn you can just go for float up, do 30 damage.
So boss's orders there, that could be huge. We might see try and strand something. Maybe that Rayquaza, right? Try and strand it with the Galar Mine.
Or you could even KO it. I mean, don't forget, Thumping Snore you have access to with the Snorlax, so you can do 180.
That is a fantastic point, actually, yeah.
Yeah, you can just knock it out, right? I mean, Snorlax, it's been used as a great attacker in so many other decks, and you could use it to that same benefit here.
No, you're 100% correct, yeah. Remove the... This game, honestly, could still go either way. It might not look great for Sander, but I promise you, you can still win this. And here we see the pass over to 8. I believe that was a pass. Yeah, here we see a pass.
And I think the reason why Sander's playing this out is because he recognizes if this goes to a game 3, it probably just ends in a tie.
Yes.
Like, Sander's best chance here is to kind of like play this out, hope that maybe he can like last long enough to, I guess, beat the clock in a sense, or just outlast Adrian in terms of resources, like we were mentioning earlier. Oh,
Adrian does have a Sableye left. Does he have a Psychic Energy as well? Sableye is perfect for this sort of scenario.
So there's one Psychic on the Comfey. I don't know where the other one is.
I mean, there is an energy recycler in the hand, so if it has been discarded, can just fish it back. Well, at least put it back into play that way.
Yeah, there's also the potential risk here of Sanders losing by amazing rare Rayquaza KOing this Eldegoss.
Yes.
Adrian only has 2 prizes left.
Oh, and that's a KO on the Snorlax. Goes down to 1 prize card.
And gets the grass energy off the prizes.
I think that helps. That is part of the attack cost for Rayquaza.
Yeah, wait, is that actually what he needed? Does he have it now?
He has the Energy Recycler in hand. Has a skill permit to move the Cramorant.
But does he have the Mirage Gate?
Does he have the Mirage Gate? I don't think so. You'd assume probably get slammed down. Although this will tell us if that's... Oh, the Cramorant's coming out the active. Oh, okay. I guess this Comfey can still retreat, so this can get a 2-card dig. Does it find a Mirage Gate? Mirage Gate does get the win here, I believe.
Yes, as long as there is enough energy left in deck, because we don't forget there's a lot of energy in Adrian's hand.
Yeah, I think he has an Energy Recycler in hand, though.
Oh yeah, right, of course you just said,
yes. Energy Recycler, yeah. So here we go. This could be a big... There's the grass. This is so exciting. Here we go. Big flowers.
No.
Oh.
Okay, just going to spit innocently.
Okay, fair enough. Wants to be a bit more patient with it. Don't mind that. Don't mind that at all.
Okay, but then Sander has to float up this turn then. There's no way you can leave that where it sort of in the active, just waiting to get knocked out. yeah, look out thin that deck is.
Yeah, no, that can be a bit of fool's gold there because Adrian does have an energy recycle, so he can put 5 energies back into there to make it at least 5 cards more deep. So it's not quite last chance saloon here for Adrian, but it's definitely getting to that nitty-gritty time.
Yeah, just a bit. So double turbo onto the Elder Goss. Again, you have to. There's no way there's no way you can't go for this here. But now, of course, what do you retreat into? Because, you do float up, you go into something else, but as long as Adrian has the energy for it, you can just KO anything and take his last prize with Rayquaza.
Yeah, so we're going to try and go for a little bit of a boss stall strategy here.
Yeah, kind of have to.
And then just try and float up loop between the two and hope that Adrian cannot. But then you actually do damage. I guess you do 10, actually. It's probably not enough to really threaten KO his Zigzagoon.
Wait, no, it's 0, right? Because
does float up do 20?
It does 30, but remember, resistance is -30 now. Yes.
Does Ziggy resist as well?
Yeah,
no, it's weak, actually.
Oh, it's weak.
It's weak.
Oh, it's weak. Oh, okay. So no, it does. So
it does 20.
Yeah, 20.
20,
okay.
20. Yeah. It's weird now that the dark types are weak to grass. That's relatively new.
Yeah,
relatively new.
That was a Sword and Shield era introduction. And it's okay. So float up for 20. Yeah, it's not a KO by any means. No, that's all right.
Wait, does double turbo energy
reduces by 20? So
before applying resistance. So I think that should be 20 damage.
Yeah, that should be 20 damage. Yeah,
I'm fairly certain that's 20 damage on the. Wait, yeah, that was a DT we used.
Yeah,
it can't be a twin.
No, so yeah, the damage on the Zigzagoon needs to be 20, not 60.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a check on that. Damage on the Zigzagoon should be 20, not 60.
Yes.
Hopefully that can get communicated because that could be quite
very relevant, right?
Yeah, no, it's very important. Hopefully we can get communications to the table at any time.
Yeah, so just about. There should be 20 damage on the Zigzagoon, not 60 currently.
So there should be 20 damage, we believe, on the Zigzagoon, not 60, because DTE damage reduction is applied before weakness.
Yes.
So just going to try and get that communicated now to the table. We're definitely being correct there,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
so 20 damage before applying weakness, 30 goes down to 10 times 2 is 20, so hopefully we're going to try and get that down to the table.
A-level maths.
Yeah, the A-level maths coming back involved, baby. He wasn't off for me. Even I can do a bit of maths now.
There you go.
So, anyway, I've been thinking about that. What's Sander been doing over here then? So,
been digging a little bit. We saw Chorus's experiment of throwing a Miltank and a Hisuian Heavy Ball into the thing, and it looks like the judges have picked up on it now. They're not changing anything.
I mean, we haven't messed this up, right?
Yeah, so
60's correct. Oh, it's 50. Oh dear. Oh, A-level maths, throw that back out the window. We can't read cards, so we can do maths. We can't read, Freya.
No.
God,
can't read numbers.
We can't read. We're so dumb. I apologise.
Okay, I know exactly what happened there. I'm used to thinking 30 because that's what
it always does.
Yeah, with the reduction from the DTA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear. I'm sure chat loving us right now.
I mean, okay, we've been pretty on the ball so far. Actually, that's been
cut us some slack, chat. Come on, we're trying our best.
Our first big blunder of the day.
Yeah. Right then, so that's actually kind of changes things. One interesting little wrinkle as well is that energy recycler can get back that psychic. It's going to let you start saber-lying around as well. So, I guess that thumping snore's actually getting ready. Look at that.
Yeah.
So thumping snore. Wow, this is such an interesting game.
Yeah, and I guess, again, the only fear is that the Adrian comes in with this Rayquaza and gets the KO, right? But it looks like that's not possible right now. Because obviously if it was, Adrian would have already won.
So training court's... Wow, so training court's still around. That's actually massive.
Yeah, but actually Sander just scoops after that.
Was that a concession? Oh, it was?
Yeah. I think because with that, I think Sander recognises there's no way to stop enough energy attachments for the last KO to happen, so yeah. So... I mean, so with that, you kind of have to think that this series is going to end in a tie, right? I mean, it's one game apiece currently, and I think there's not going to be enough time for either one player to really do anything, unless there's a very quick donk that happens, perhaps.
I think that's the only way that this will get concluded. Maybe Max Balloon comes out at a faster rate, or Miltank has a decent attack if there's bench Pokemon, but then I guess that wouldn't be a donk at that point. Maybe Snorlax even. Snorlax turn 1 energy. Next time I'm going to do 180 if you don't have another basic Pokemon. That could be the way out as well. But
it's funny. Actually, in a sense, both players actually have donking potential in that sort of way, right?
Yeah.
As long as the cards play out a certain way.
Yeah, I think I don't even know who to favour in a donk scenario because, I mean, I guess I'll tell you what could be good. Wycow could be really good in this scenario, actually.
Or even, I mean, just going second right for and lost on Chromatic 110.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that is a fantastic point as well. So, yeah, all to play for. Not quite over yet. Donk is on. That is why probably Sander conceded. Just right, let's see if we can try and maneuver a cheeky little game 3 victory here. And I'm sure Adrian's thinking the exact same thing as well. Like, oh, maybe I can maneuver a cheeky little victory here as well. So, all to play for.
All to play for, indeed, and not much time to play it in either.
No.
So and both players will be clamoring for a win here because although they're both on a very good record already and a pretty good contention to make day 2. If you win here, you're already locked in, right? So you don't have to worry anymore.
No, that's it. And you want to just be able to just have the X amount of wins needed, so you can just relax then, know you're in day 2, and then you start thinking about the next day. So both players want to wrap this up nice and early. So I'm sure we're going to see both players playing for the win here. Tie doesn't really help that much, so they both want that win. They're both going to be greedy.
Yeah, they're very, very, very greedy. And it'll also be very interesting to see if Sander chooses to go first or second, actually.
Yeah.
He might be thinking, if I choose to go first, then my opponent can go second and maybe just donk me with a Cramorant, which would be not very good.
Yeah, and you have to imagine Sander's deck isn't really built to find a ton of Pokemon quick.
No.
He hasn't got, VIPs, loads of quick balls, level balls even, any of that. So I imagine of any deck that just leads one Pokemon and passes turn 1 going first, Sander's deck has to be high up on the list for that to happen.
Yeah, and at least if you go second, if you're Sander, right, there's some supporters you can play to dig for a few more cards. Maybe you can play a Bird Keeper, or maybe you can play, or you could Chorus Experiment just to do a little bit of a dig. Although, Sander started with the Eldegoss, okay.
Which does 50 damage, we know now.
Yes. 30 after the DT. Yes.
Yeah, we apologise for that little blunder there, but we'd rather make sure everything's done correctly.
Yeah.
And because there's no harm done with us checking, and
No.
I think it could have been relevant. So
yes. So capture energy and a quick ball is rather good measure to start things off. So yeah, Sander's not getting donked here.
Oh, has time been called already?
Oh yeah, actually it might be. Yeah, looks like 0-0.
What's happened here? So looks like I assume Sander capture energy for the Snorlax. It looks like Judge is pointing towards the deck. Not 100% sure as to what's. Maybe just is it like a little sequencing thing?
Yeah, maybe Sander went too fast or something.
Or maybe
like
he didn't top deck. Is that what it looks like? Maybe.
Oh, possibly actually. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So I think it's been fixed now. So yeah, there we go.
Okay.
So easy done. Yeah, quick ball, discarding the mill tank. Not very useful card in this matchup. Gonna grab the Starly just to maybe try and search out those combo pieces again. But there has to be a donk happening here. As long as Adrian benches like a few Pokemon, this game is as good as over, and the match will be a tie. Yeah,
and tell you what, I've actually been there before. You forget top deck. When you're so eager to just try and get the game started, you want to just try and do everything you can. You can just forget. Oh yeah, actually get an extra card off the top to continue my turn. So there we see a nice Gorman dies there with the Cape of Toughness. Would have been very good to see game 2. Turn 2 here over to Adrian. So I don't think Adrian can win at this point, right? Looks like I think both players are just thinking, chances are nothing's going to happen.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have seen Adrian actually bench some stuff there for us just to make sure, but
but he has Pokemon in his hand.
Yeah,
we can see it. So
yeah.
So that will be a tie, unfortunately. So both his players will move on to 502, which again, still a really good record, right? And both these players are so close to making day 2. All you need is either 2 more ties or 1 win, and they're good to go. So I'm sure, although they would have liked to win, a tie is not the end of the world.
No, you take a tie. You never want to lose in that scenario.
No,
at least the tie here, like you said, opens up the opportunity to then get, 1 more tie?
No, you need 2 more.
2 more ties, sorry.
Yeah.
So at least, not out of it yet. 1 more win, though. 1 more win out of what? The remaining 2 rounds, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 50-50. Both fantastic players. I'm sure they'll both be fine. But what an interesting game. We saw game 1 lock happened like that. Lickety split. And then game 2 didn't quite have the optimal lock.
No.
And then Adrian was able to capitalise with that meticulous little chess turn there of, let me just hold back, build the resources, and then boom, drop them like it's hot. And then getting a tie out of it. Fantastic little best of 3 there.
Yeah, really, really, really cool to see. And now we know what Sander is bringing. We always knew it would be control, but now we've seen what kind of flavour control Sander has brought to the table today. And although we saw, that game ended in a tie, he's still undefeated, right? 5 wins and 2 ties. Are we going to see him top 8 again?
I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. Top 4 NAIC, biggest event of the year. With a control deck. EUIC top 32, I believe, as well. I would not be surprised at all. One of the best innovative players in the game right now. And the thing is, unless you watch the stream, if you're a player, if I sat next to Sander right now, I wouldn't have a clue what's going on.
No.
I wouldn't expect a Yveltal with a DT to suddenly turn into a flying Pikachu VMAX with a big parasol. Oh my goodness! Like this one went 0 to 100 so quick. Like, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sander to make a deep one at all.
No. Like, as he has done for like quite a few tournaments in a row. We've seen LAIC and NAIC before that, and Stuttgart, and now here in Liverpool one more time. Yeah,
the man is just godlike with his TCG powers. But I believe we're going to cut to a quick break now, give you time to get back your refreshments, and we're going to get back with the next round as soon as we can.